everybody, this is Brian.
And I'm Logan, and this is Tops. And this is Bottoms. And this is Trouble. Avocado. Thunder.
Wow, he's loud today. Wow, he's got really rambunctious. Okay. Bye, friends. Oh, hi, friends.
And we're Crush Cards. Hi, team. Happy Thundertastic Tuesday, my darling dragons. How are you doing today?
So today we are going to be bringing you guys a walkthrough and a test hand combo tutorial kind of video for our Chaos Thunder Dragon build that we uploaded about a month ago. We did update the deck, so make sure you guys stick around for that. Before we get into the actual combo, we like this deck so much that we actually did this kind of a video on our Patreon. So if you are interested in that, links are in the description box down below. Feel free to go check it out. But there was an overwhelming
amount of requests from all of you asking for us to do a combo tutorial. We do combo tutorials with more like popular deck profiles, and it's basically if you guys just want it to happen, we'll make it happen. And this was definitely the most requested lately, next to dinosaurs. And we love this deck. We've been tweaking it. We've been playing it at our little mini locals at home, and we figured, why not?
So we won't waste any more of your guys' time. Before we get into this, if you guys are not already a subscriber to the channel, feel free to go down, hit the subscribe button, throw this video a like,
and just comment what deck you're playing this format. I want to know what you're playing. Let me know. We also have an Instagram. It's at CrushCardsYGO. We're on there all the time, posting posts, posting stories, answering messages. It's the best way to contact us and come hang out. We post stuff all the time. We also have a super wholesome Discord community. It's absolutely bopping. We have a good time. We Photoshop tops and the alpacas onto things. And we also have a free Discord tournament every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then last but not least, as we said, if you want to further support the channel and get fun exclusive content, we have a Patreon. The side decks go up there. We have bloopers going up literally tomorrow at the end of every month. So if you want to see some potty mouth alpacas, that's the place. But yeah, if you want to check it out, feel free. Links in the description box down below. But if not, don't worry. We're just happy you're here, darling. We're going to help you get through this Thunder deck. But with that being said, let's get into the updated profile really quick and then do a couple test hands, showing you some interruption, some not interruption, some interaction, some affection.
That's right. Go like the video. Ready, guys? Let's go.
Alright, so before we get into the actual content of like the testing and the test hands and all that other stuff and the combos, we just wanted to show that we actually did update the deck just a little bit. So we just wanted to go through the updated list for y'all so that you know exactly what we are playing and why. So we are still playing the triple copies of Aloof Lupine. I know that there is a version of the deck going around out there right now with the Sacred Beast Structure Deck engine, the level 2, the level 1, and then the spell. It's a free Curious, but the only reason that I'm not a huge fan of that is because in this current format right here, right now, every single deck is main decking at least 9 to 15 to like 16 hand traps. So if that normal summon gets stopped, you have to have an additional extender in your hand. Whereas Aloof Lupine, it banishes any Thunder Dragon basically in your hand for cost. And even if they stop the Aloof Lupine effect from resolving, so you don't banish from your deck, you do actually get that Thunder Dragon effect unless they go for another hand trap. So like this card takes 2 hand traps to stop you plussing. So I like this over the other one. There is a version that I've been testing online for a little bit. If you guys are interested, feel free to leave it in the comments down below and we'd love to showcase it. But you basically make Curious. It's a 1-card Curious with the Sacred Beast Structure Deck engine. You send Imperial Order, you make Griffin, and then you set the Imperial Order. So like you have another interruption. But like once again, if that normal summon does not go through, then it's just really, really difficult to do. So if we're still playing the 3 copies of the Thunder Dragon Matrix, a lot of people bump this card down to 2. But like personally, I think that this card is a really good normal summon if you do not open up the Aloof Lupine. And of course, obviously you could search it. You can search any Thunder Dragon card in this deck. So triple copies of the vanilla because you obviously want to open this card. You want to open all 3 of this card every single game because that's what happens. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I wind up opening like at least 2 copies of this every other game. It's really annoying. And then the 3 Dark. This is probably one of your best Thunder Dragon cards. And then the 3 Roar, and then the 1 Hawk. That rounds it out for the Thunder Dragon lineup. I am not playing Duo. We'll get into that right now because they are still playing the double copies of Chaos Valkyria, the 1 white, the 1 black, and then the 1 Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, and then the 1 Chaos Creator. So in my personal opinion, I'm not like a huge fan of running the big level guys, the Thunder Dragon Duo. I know a lot of people are playing like double the triple copies of Legionnaire. Some people are even playing the new Chaos Emperor Dragon, like the Pendulum guy. I think those cards are fine, but I'm not trying to play, like realistically at the end of the day, not only are all of these cards searchable, but they're also kind of bricky turn 1 because you want to have maximum extension in your hand. And though these cards can be extenders, these cards are more follow-up for turn 2 and turn 3. I'm not trying to hard open any of the big cards that I have to like banish lights and darks for. That's what the Chaos Dragons are for. That's what the Chaos Space package is for. Once again, when we get into the combo, you'll see how fluid this deck really is. You could choose to run whatever you would like, but I have found that running the bigger monsters in higher numbers is extremely bricky. And then, of course, we are still playing the 1 copy of Dark Magician and the 1 copy of Red Eyes for the Dragoon package. Still playing the triple copies of Phantasme, and then typically in the build that we showcased before, this would be followed by 3 Effect Veiler because, you know, Phantasme is a dark, Effect Veiler is a light. However, we did substitute 1 other different card for that, and that's really the only change that we made to this deck. Still playing the triple Chaos Space. Obviously, it's the best card in the entire deck. Playing double copies of Thunder Dragon Fusion. You do not need more of this card. Triple copies of Allure of Darkness because it's just Pot of Greed in this deck. And then the card that we subbed out for Effect Veiler is triple copies of Dark Ruler No More in the main deck. So Phantasme is the only hand trap that we are choosing to main deck. If you are interested in the side deck, all of those will be up on Patreon. But going second, this deck really can play through a ton of interruption. It can also just break boards really easily. The Chaos Space engine just allows you to continually push further and further and further. I just love that part about this deck. But for those boards that you can't seem to break, or for those boards that are just like a little too much, Dark Ruler No More typically just takes care of the entire thing. And Phantasme can also help you draw into those cards. So Phantasme is really good for the targeting protection. It's a dark for Allure, and going second, it allows you to just see more things that you would need. And then once again, the power 1-ofs, we're playing the 1 Reborn, the 1 Instant, the 1 Gold Sark, and then the 1 Red Eyes Fusion. This is the entire list of what we are playing for the main deck. It's 42 cards. I literally would not change a single thing in this deck. I love this build. It's super duper good, really consistent, and we'll showcase that once we get past the extra deck. The extra deck also hasn't changed much. It's the 1 Linkuriboh, the 1 Relinquished Anima, the 1 Verte Anaconda, the 1 IP, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, and then I think the only card that we changed is we took out the Tornado Dragon and put in the BLS Link. So the only reason I really like this card in the deck is because once you show that you're playing the Dragoon engine, it forces something out of your opponent automatically. Like, you're gonna end on 3 to 4 interruptions most of the time. So if they stop the Anaconda, you know, basically you getting to Dragoon, you can still put something that's untargetable, can't be destroyed, and like, it just has a ton of really good protection. So it's more of a defensive play, but I think this card is really, really good, and you can make it super easy in this deck. And then the 1 Appaloosa, the 1 Access Code, these cards are just really, really good. The 1 Abyss Dweller, just because shutting off graveyards is just super impactful. The 1000 Eyes, and then the 1 Kaminari attack. These are our instant fusion targets. We are still playing double copies of Thunder Dragon Titan because you do not need more. You can recycle it, and the 1 Dragoon for the extra deck. So that's it. That's all 15. Let's get right into the test hands and the combos, y'all. So now we're just going to shuffle real quick, and we're going to do a couple test hands. If you guys missed the original video, we will link it right up here in the corner for you guys. All you have to do is click on it. You'll see the actual profile and then like the original combo. We did do an additional test hand on Patreon also, which is kind of like this. So we're going to walk through the first test hand to showcase what this deck actually can do uninterrupted, and then we'll show like interruption, and then maybe even going second what this deck can do. So without any further ado, all right, Pony, have fun.
Nay, 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 let's play some Thunder.
We're attempting to go first, so we'll see Chaos Space.
Lit.
Oh, wow, Aloof, that's really
Lit.
good. A Matrix. Another Matrix. And another Chaos Space. This is actually not that great, but you can do a ton with this hand. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to activate Chaos Space, getting rid of a light to search a dark monster. We'll search our Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. Now we can normal our Aloof Lupine, activate the effect, banishing our Matrix for cost. Keep in mind that it is cost. And then we can banish our Roar from our deck. So Roar will always be Chainlink 1 because it's way more important, and then Matrix will always be Chainlink 2. So we'll add ourselves a copy of Matrix, and then we will special summon the copy of Dark from our deck. And now our opponent does know that we do have an additional extender in our hand, but we do want to apply some pressure. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to link 2 into our Anaconda, because that Anaconda will let our opponent know where we are trying to go, which is a Dragoon play, obviously. So now if they have anything in their hand that they have to start interacting with, this is the time to do it. And if not, we're still going to end on a Titan plus a couple cards in hand, so it's still really good. But Dark did leave the field, so we will search our Thunder Dragon Fusion from our deck to our hand. And we don't have an additional extender to get to like an IP play, so I would save the Collapse Serpent for a follow-up or for discard fodder. We can though activate our Thunder Dragon Fusion, shuffling back a Matrix, a Dark, and then we'll go probably for another Matrix, honestly, because these are the more impactful cards in the late game. That will net us a Titan, and now of course we can activate our Anaconda, paying 2,000 life points. We'll send the Red Eyes Fusion, which will then send Red Eyes and Dark Magician.
Ooh, look at that hot, beautiful Arcana Rare.
And then we'll scooch our grave over, and we will summon our Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. We will have 3 cards in hand, so now we at least have 1 interruption off of Titan, because we did search a Matrix, and then we will have the other interruption, which will be a negate and a 4,000 attack body once we use the negate that can't be targeted or destroyed, or like this card's just like really unfair.
No, wait, really? Dragoon's unfair?
And then we do have some discard fodder, so we are pretty good to go. And then on top of that, we have the Thunder Dragon Fusion in our graveyard for follow-up.
Woo!
Plus, we have the Collapse Serpent if we do not choose to discard it. So this is really like a generic board that this deck can make. You have a couple cards in hand. You made 1, 2 negates, plus you have an additional body. This is really hard for your opponent to out, and this is just a chainable interruption whenever you want. Plus, you have follow-up in your graveyard. All of this off of 2 cards.
Wow, so that was test hand number 1. Let's go into test hand number 2 with some interruption and some no's. Now let's do it, but when your opponent opens up 17 hand traps, because that seems to be what y'all think happens all the time.
Yeah,
so.
all the comments are always like, man, this deck sucks because if I open Gamma, Imperm, Ash, Ogre, and Valor, you can't play. Yeah, well,
I'll be
you know
like,
what?
well, damn, if you're opening all those cards, I would hope you're gonna win.
Yeah.
But then what do you do after that? All right, let's draw.
Allure.
Fusion. Thundy Dundee. Oh, damn.
Wow.
Oh, snap, you girl.
Wow.
It's okay, you're welcome.
All right, so obviously Allure's a really good draw card. Goldsark is the best extender and starter in the entire deck, but we opened up everybody's favorite card, so let's get rid of them to see 2 more of his cute little self. So we'll search double copies of our good old buddy Thundy Dundee Bundy Dragon. Here you go. Do you want to cut opponent? Because God forbid, you know. Cool. All right, and now what we're going to do is we are going to bait some stuff. Man, 6 cards. Oh, whoa, look at that map moving. 6 cards in my hand isn't enough. I want 7. I'm going to be greedy. Let's allure.
1 through 3, they ash you, I guess. 4 through 6, draw cards. Amazing, we're drawing cards.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, like, you don't ash allure. Like, allure is the only card, like, it's not worth it. So we'll see another allure. Oh, boy. And a Phantazzle Dazzle. Okay, well, now we're going to be extremely greedy. We don't need Phantasme. Bye, bud.
Do more.
Man, let's draw again. Do you want to ash me now?
So no, we're not going to ash here because God knows there's probably a dark in the hand or a roar. So knowing that as the opponent, you know that they're going to, like, banish it anyway, so...
Yeah, you want to save it for the actual extender.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll allure and we'll draw 2. Wow. Oh my god. Okay. So
psych, you didn't ash me.
we'll banish the dark, and now realistically, if we can be honest, this is where you would want to ash, because dark will add any card that we need, which would be Thunder Dragon Fusion, but our opponent doesn't know that we opened it.
So yeah, this is the choke point number 1.
Yeah, so we'll say 1 through 3, it does not resolve. 4 through 6, it does.
Whee!
4 through 6, it does. Wow.
Look
Our
at the
opponent's
odds.
really holding out, man.
Our
Really
opponent
holding out.
Our opponent is playing appliancers.
So realistically, this is, as the opponent, this is where you will know, because I'm going to attempt to search our Thunder Dragon Matrix, which will telegraph that I already have Fusion in hand. So now you can start playing around this if you're the opponent and not actually the pilot of the deck. Now you know that your opponent already has Fusion in hand. They already have 1, 2, and then potentially another Thunder Dragon, because they obviously have to do some more things. And we haven't even committed to a normal summon or even a summon yet, really. So we've just tried to dig for everything we need, tried to bait out our opponent's hand traps. Realistically, in my opinion, better players will let you get this far, because nothing has really happened yet. So the first thing that we are going to do is try to bait more negates. We are going to activate our Chaos Space, sending a light monster from our hand to the graveyard.
This is where you stop it.
This is also choke point number 2. Chaos Space is one of the best, if not the best card in the deck, so if you can ash it.
So any good player would negate this part, because it's Chaos Space, obviously. So we're not going to roll the dice. We're going to be realistic here, because it's getting negated, fam.
Yeah, which is fine, because now we can special summon the Black Dragon and basically laugh at our opponent, because that's what we were supposed to search, but we already drew it, which is okay. So we'll banish our Thunder Dragon in order to special summon our Black Dragon. So now all we really need is an additional body on field. So we can either normal summon our Matrix, or we can activate the Goldsark to banish the Roar in our deck to special summon anything else. So I think that personally is what I would do, just because our opponent still has 4 cards in hand and you don't know what they are. So we're gonna activate the Goldsark, and then we can banish our Thunder Dragon Roar, and now this is where our opponent has the ability to actually stop us again. But if they already used Ash on Chaos Space, it is a hard once per turn, so they can't Ash us here. So this is why you bait negates going first, to try to get these cards out of your opponent's hand so that the really impactful cards do resolve. The only other hand trap here that would stop this would be a Gamma, but once again, it doesn't matter. We already have Titan, we have a proc for Titan, and this this plus this will make Dragoon regardless. So even, let's just say they do stop it, right? Like, let's pretend that the Roar gets stopped with a Gamma. So now they have 3 cards in hand. We will just attempt to normal summon our Matrix now. Now we can just link 2.
He's a snake.
Wow, isn't that great? And we have chain links now because we can activate chain link 1 because once again, we do want to have that Titan interruption, and then chain link 2 for the Collapse Serpent. So we'll search our Wyvern Buster and our Matrix. So once again, we've already played through 2 interruptions and we are still going to basically end on full board. So this is where we have the ability to either be greedy, knowing that our opponent has, we'll just put this up here, 3 cards in their hand because they've already used a Gamma and an Ash. We can special summon the Wyvern Buster by banishing the Black Dragon, and then we can banish the Chaos Space to put the Black Dragon back on the bottom of our deck and then draw a card, searching us something else, but we don't have a guaranteed way to get this off the field. So we're just gonna hold this for discard fodder. We will activate the Thunder Dragon Fusion now though. We'll send back 1, 2, and 3 cards from our banished and graveyard. The reason that I like to put these back is because this is, once again, it's searchable off of its own effect, and we already have a Thunder Dragon in our hand, so we can just pop more cards on our next turn. So we're gonna put these 3 back, get ourselves a nice little Titan. Of course, we gotta shuffle off, I guess, over here. You wanna cut opponent?
I guess.
Now we can activate, pay the 2,000. Sorry, I took the deck before I said I was going to do anything. We'll send the Red Eyes Fusion, the Dark Magician, and the Red Eyes.
Bye guys. Bye Brick.
And then we will summon our Red Eyes Dark Dragoon.
Wow, everyone's best friend.
Yeah, and
totally
like,
fair.
Once again, we played through 2 interruptions. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand, and then we have a follow-up with Thunder Dragon Fusion in our graveyard. We still have Chaos Space and the Black Dragon in our grave to continually play for free. We have a discard, we have a pop, and then we also have the other discard if we choose not to use it, and then just play for free and for free and for free. It's like, this deck just has so much of a resource game that, like, I don't know. I really like this deck. I think it's super fun.
Yeah, value. That, and it just does really well in the grind game. Thunder's always been really good in the grind game because the recycling is absurd, and just now with the Chaos Engine, it's just so accessible to get all of your pieces back, and obviously Dragoon just adds that flair of unfairness to it, so you know, fun.
So automatically our opponent is going to draw for their turn. They will have 4 cards in hand, so we realistically do not have an answer for 2 of them. We will have a Dragoon negate, and then we will have a pop with Titan, so we have, like, we'll say 1 and 2 less cards. We will have nothing in our, we'll try to keep this in hand because this will be an additional 2 pops on our turn that we're going to go into. And then, I mean, like, this will be 4K, can't be targeted, can't be destroyed, and our opponent only has 4 cards to deal with that because they did use Ash and Gamma. Okay, so let's say our opponent is playing something like Dragon Link, right? Like a meta deck. So they're going to, obviously, they're going to normal summon. We're going to see that they're playing Dragon Link, and we know that the 2 choke points for Dragon Link are going to be Romulus, either Link Cross or Needle Fiber. So we're just going to hit both of those cards. So we'll go, say they go for the Romulus play, we'll let them search, you know, the Ravine. It's fine. But after that, we are going to just activate this, chain the Titan, and pop the Romulus. Now they're out a whole body, and then we can activate the Dragoon if they do manage to get to like a Link Cross or a Needle Fiber play, and we'll just negate that. And now there's no real way that they can honestly get past this, and this being at 37 and this being at 4K, untargetable, can't be destroyed by card effects. Even if they do find a way to make a Savage typically will not get up to 4K, and if they do manage to do that, it's literally the only thing that they can make. So we will draw for our turn, which will, wow, another Chaos Space. That's crazy. So we are going to banish our Thunder Dragon Fusion, which will allow us to search our Chaos Creator. And let's say our opponent has 2 to 3 cards on field still, even if they, you know, with everything that they had, they're a really good player. So they turned their 4 cards in hand into 3 cards on field, and they baited both of our negates. So we are now going to special summon our Chaos Creator by banishing Matrix and our Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. And now that'll trigger our Matrix to search a copy of Matrix, and now we can activate our Thunder Dragon, discarding it, chain the Titan, searching 1 Thunder Dragon. There's our first pop. Whoa, guess what? Let's do it again. Chain Titan. There's our second pop. Crazy. And then, of course, we can do the Chaos Creator. We can just target 3 of our banished monsters that have different names. We'll go for a Roar, a Dark, and we'll say Matrix. These are my 3 favorite. And we get to choose. So we're going to choose the Dark. We'll special summon the Dark, and then we'll put these 2 on the bottom of our deck. Now we can activate the Chaos Space in our graveyard, banishing it to put the Black Dragon back on the bottom of our deck. and then we will draw an additional card. So here we are now. We haven't normal summoned. We have 4 cards in our hand. We've popped 2 cards on our opponent's field. We could put Titan in attack mode. I mean, obviously this is enough for game, but if you really wanted like overkill and you wanted to go even further, you could link for 3 here into a unicorn, and then you could activate unicorn as chain link 1, and then dark is chain link 2. We'll discard the thunder dragon for our unicorn, and then dark will search a hawk. Unicorn will then spin a card, and then once again it's a thunder card that can activate in the hand, so we'll just activate it to special anything back, which can once again trigger Titan, and now we can just link up into an access code. We've got 3 to 4 pops on our turn just off of Titan alone. We've got an access code which can pop cards. Dragoon is just a 4K
hanging out.
beat stick. We haven't even used the other Dragoon effects yet, and we have a Chaos Creator for 2300 attack, plus 3 cards in our hand without even normal summoning.
And this was the hand that we used with interruption. My God, this is wacko. Wow. Who doesn't want to play Thunder looking at all this variety?
It is a little hand dependent, like depending on what you actually open up and what your opponent is playing, where they stop you, when they stop you, all that stuff.
But that's any deck. Like I don't even think that's a fair argument. Everyone's like, oh well, what if I? But that's any deck. If you open any array of cards, that's the whole point of this game. You never know. It's the luck of the draw. So you know what? Sometimes you open really good, and you can do this. Sometimes you don't, and you know it all depends on your hand and what gets hit and where you get the choke points. I don't know. I like it. But now that that's all been done, let's try going second hand and see what'll happen to us.
Alright, so we're going to shuffle real quick. We're going to draw 6 cards because, you know, that's how this game works. And then, I don't know, how many interruptions do you want to play through? Let's be realistic. Like 2, 3?
If we're going second, it's probably at least 2 or 3.
Okay, let's say 2 or 3. Let's say 2 or 3. We'll see what we can do.
Like, we'll say we're playing against Dragon Link.
Yeah,
and
Dragon Link's cool.
Savage and all their bullcrap.
Alright, so we're going to go and see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our 5th card will be Aloof, and then we'll go our 6th. Wow!
Okay.
All right, cool. So we are gonna have 3 interruptions to play through. This is a pretty darn good hand to do that. Now, the first instinct would be to activate a lure to try to draw into more things, but then you'd have to banish the roar. The roar would just get negated. So the best play, in my personal opinion, would be to activate the roar by banishing it for cost off of the aloof. So once again, as I said earlier when we're actually going through the deck list, aloof is the best normal summon because if they're gonna stop the aloof, they have to use 2 interruptions just so you don't go plus. It's ridiculous. So the best way to probably do this now, we know that that's gonna be our route, so let's go Chaos Space, getting rid of our Valkyria to search a dark monster. Obviously, once again, as we said, this is the best card in the deck, so this is gonna get negated. So there is 1 negate right off the bat. That's perfect. Now we're gonna go Allure, try to dig for some cards.
Yeah.
Are we gonna let this go?
Yeah, I feel like people don't really stop Allure.
Yeah,
honestly.
I agree.
Like, if they already stopped one thing, I mean...
Oh, that's unfair. Oh, they lost. That's it. That's the game right there. Instant Fusion alone is 2 interruptions, just so you know. So we do have to banish a dark. Now we'll just banish the roar here. We'll activate the roar effect. They will typically negate that also, so we don't get a body. There's 2. And now we can activate our Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion will pay 1,000, summon out our Thousand Eyes Restrict, and then we can activate the Thousand Eyes Restrict to try to take anything that's going to be a problem. This will probably, once again, eat that other negate. So there's the 3 interruptions out of the way already. But you know what? We're not done, friends. This is obviously like more zone placement dependent, but like we'll go into our relinquished anima, and if they do have a card here or a card here, it really just depends on, you know, like where they summoned their monsters. You can just suck it up and there it is. Like you just got rid of an entire monster. Now we can normal summon the aloof. We actually can't really do anything with the aloof because we got rid of all of our interruptions, but it doesn't matter because now we baited 3 negates. We'll link 2 into our Anaconda, and
oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, like even if they had a 4th negate, this would have stopped it also. So we've gotten rid of 4 negates. Now we can just go and activate this, paying a 2,000, sending the Red Eyes Fusion to send the Red Eyes and the Dark Magician, but that's Dark Magician and Red Eyes. You all know exactly what we're doing. And now we can special summon out our Dragoon, and then Dragoon just going second is probably the most OP card in the entire game right now because we did use both normal monsters, so we can pop 2 cards on our opponent's field and burn them for the attack. So if they had like a Savage, we just popped the card and burned for 3k. And then no matter what else they had, we'll literally just pop that card too, burn them. Let's say that it's like a 1500 monster. It's nothing like crazy, right? At 15, 18, whatever it is. We got rid of 2 monsters, played through 3, potentially 4 interruptions, cleared through a whole field, and now we can just walk in the battle phase. This will be 3K, and this will be the other 5 for game. And even if you somehow do not manage to put game on board, you still have the Dragoon negate, and you have other follow-ups in your graveyard and in your hand. So you got a ton of stuff that you can still do. I don't know, I really like this deck. I think this deck is super fun. It's definitely not like tier 1, but it is a really, really strong like tier 2, tier 1.5 rogue contender.
But yeah, that's the deck. We just wanted to kind of show like some what if scenarios, like, oh, well, what if I'm up against a board with at least 3 interruptions? This deck can still function. This deck can still get Dragoon out. This deck can still play through it.
And that's all unsided, by the way.
So yeah, oh my god, this was unsided. So like we didn't even think about that in the sense. So this is just the main deck itself, how strong it is. Like obviously, again, it's very hand dependent. Every game's going to be different. You never know what you're going to be up against. But Dragon Link is one of the best decks in the meta right now. So we figured like, I mean, okay.
This deck can still sit at the table and compete. That's all we're trying to showcase with this deck. It does depend on what your opponent decides to do, what they decide to do, when they decide to do it, and what you decide to do and when you decide to do it also. But once again, skilled players will know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
So you do really have to practice the deck and know how to pilot the deck. You can't just pick it up and expect it to know how to function for you, because you need to know the routes and the ins and outs of it too. So take the deck, experiment with it, make it your play style, and try it out. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you do, awesome.
And if you are interested in this deck and the side deck, guess what, friends? Patreon, we got all 15 cards ready to show you guys. It's pretty great. Here's one. Whoa, no way.
But for all of you who are requesting for us to do a tutorial for this deck, we hope this was helpful for you. We tried to walk step by step through every action and why we would do it, and hopefully that was at least enough for you to get a better feel of this deck with a couple of hands. And of course, if you ever have any questions or need any further advice, feel free to just message us on Instagram. We're always on there, or in the Discord. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. We hope you have a thundery, terrific, thunderstormy Thunder Tuesday.
There's a lot of thunders. Whoa.
We love you, you matter, and we'll see